This week in Black history, all the way back in 1870, a young man by the name of Vernon, black Republican politician, was assassinated by the Ku Klux Klan in Lawrence County, South Carolina, one day after he was reelected to the State House of Representatives. While he was walking, that's a picture of him right there, while he was walking in town, Mr. Perrin was confronted by members of the Klan, tortured him, beat him up, and then shot him in the back when he tried to run. It's hard to explain to young people the Klan. They covered their faces. They were beyond prosecution. They were the law without law, and they were not prosecutable. And they would create fear in any community they were in. They never hung out by themselves. They always were in mobs. So that's who the Klan was. And that young man, who was an elected official here in the United States, was murdered because he was black and he was an elected official in South Carolina. This week in Black history, all the way back in 1986, some of y'all were alive then, the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986 was created. It was also called the Lynn Bias Law. The law created a 100-to-1 sentencing disparity between crack and powder cocaine possession that contributed to mass incarceration of African Americans. Everything was planned. Lynn Bias was a great basketball player at the University of Maryland, had just been drafted by the Boston Celtics, and he died of overdose. So they used this man's experience as a reason to put together this law that would guarantee that black folks would go to jail. How'd they do it? They did it this way. The act actually mandated minimum sentences of 5 years without parole if you possess 5 grams of crack, which is about half your palm, while it also mandated the same sentence if you possess 500 grams of powder cocaine. Powder cocaine is as hard to find in the black community as a 5-star restaurant. And, and so the same government smuggled crack into black communities and guaranteed the minimum was 5 years. Mandatory, no parole. Some people got 10 years for half a hand or half a baggie of crack cocaine. And so the war on drugs, like their brother said, is a war on us. And so in 2010, they changed it from 100-to-1 to 18-to-1. But the damage was already done then. That was this week in Black history. NBA started this week. Amen? Amen. So this week in Black history, in 1950, Earl Lloyd, known as the Big Cat, was the first black man to play in the NBA in 1950. 6'6", 227 pounds forward. Had to go off to war and came back and still played. In 1971, same man, Mr. Lloyd was hired by the Detroit Pistons as a head coach. He became the first non-playing black head coach of the NBA and the 4th overall black head coach in the NBA. He was the first assistant coach, Coach B, but in those days, if you're going to be the head coach of an NBA team, if you were black, you had to play and coach. Wow. You could not put on a suit and sit down on the bench. Wow. So Bill Russell was a coach before him, but Bill Russell had to play and coach. So he did win an NBA championship when he was playing for Washington, I believe. Died in 2015, just 10 years ago. But Big Cat was a bad man. I remember they hired him in Detroit. It was almost a riot. Let's give yourselves a hand for knowing more about this music.